Hi there, this is garyryanblair, and this lesson is all about self-sabotage. More importantly, it's about destroying what destroys you. See, while no reasonable person would intentionally sabotage their own efforts, it happens all the time. And despite their best intentions, people inadvertently, whether through a lack of training, lack of effort, or a lack of awareness, they undermine their success and they snatch failure from the jaws of victory. It's a frustrating but very fixable issue, and you're about to learn how to do it. The following is a short list of goals, dreams, and intentions in no particular order that for most people, they'll never be able to get them across the finish line. Not this year, not next year, or any year for that matter. So allow me to provide you with the list first and the reason why, along with the solution immediately thereafter. I'm talking about getting in great physical shape through a diet and exercise program. About launching a business or an initiative whose aim is to take control of your destiny. We're talking about the pursuit of any calling in writing, painting, music, film, dance, or any creative art. Any program of spiritual enlightenment in order to obtain greater peace of mind. The learning of a new language or hobby so as to expand your horizons. Any course designed to overcome an unwholesome habit or addiction. We're talking about education of any kind that will provide for greater career options. Any act of political, moral, or ethical courage. The decision to change some unhealthy pattern or thought or conduct in ourselves. The taking of any principled stand in the face of adversity. Any act that entails commitment of the heart, time, and money. And even becoming debt-free and financially secure. So why is it that these goals or objectives will get very little traction? How is it even remotely possible that most people will barely make a dent in any of those goals during their entire lifetime? The answer is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a state of mind which damages your belief in yourself and your abilities to achieve that which you want to achieve. Self-sabotage is a disease which leads to underperforming, and it's one of the greatest plagues of mankind, one which requires, and this is a pun intended, its own 12-step recovery program called Underperformers Anonymous in order to get well. Now, in one sense, underperformance is exactly what it sounds like. It's about achieving far less than you're capable of. But it's also so much more. See, self-sabotage is an addiction to underachieving, under-earning, and overall under-being, and that's a point worth repeating. Self-sabotage is an addiction to underachieving, under-earning, and overall under-being. And you cannot underestimate the awesome power, the sinister intentions, and the overwhelming influence of self-sabotage on your performance. It is the monster under the bed. It is the thing that is holding you back from doing what you know you need to be doing. It is the unwanted gift that keeps on giving. And while it can't be seen, touched, heard, or even smelled, the extraordinary thing about self-sabotage is that it makes its presence felt. It manifests itself in your body and in your mind, and it goes to work like an angry jackhammer, relentlessly pounding hard and long. So what does self-sabotage feel like? Well, it begins with sadness, with stress and distress. We feel like an imposter, someone who is unworthy of success, and we begin to act in ways that work to repel success. It pervades everything. How we think, how we talk, how we walk, and even our posture and facial expression is impacted by it. We feel unloved and we begin to act in self-destructive ways. In effect, we seize failure from the jaws of victory. Self-sabotage is negative energy. It has no redeeming value. It exists to debilitate, not to liberate talent. And its goal is to take you off course and to keep you there. Self-sabotage is self-generated, self-perpetuated, and it is hell-bent on your self-destruction. It does not play to wound, it plays to kill. It places a bullseye on whatever it is you want to be, to have, and to do, and it aggressively works to kill your hopes, your dreams, and your fondest desires. And it's because of these reasons why you must destroy that which is committed to destroying you. So to beat self-sabotage, you've got to be prepared for war, as it understands nothing but brute force and will not give in without one hell of a fight. So let's deconstruct self-sabotage. Let's have a good look at it. See, self-sabotage is as dumb as it is forceful. It leaves clues and it has a working game plan which can be broken down, picked apart, and lucky for you and I, it can be overcome. And there are 4 self-defeating elements that disrupt our abilities to fully pursue our goals. Everybody has each one of these characteristics, but the extent to which they result in self-sabotage and to interfere with our abilities is only a matter of degree. So the first one is negative self-talk. I want you to think about what happens when you begin to even consider working on a new project or goal, and you simply get the whiff of an idea that lies the slightest bit outside your existing comfort zone. As if operating on automatic pilot, self-sabotage immediately goes to work. It wastes no time weaseling into your head, planting seeds of doubt, uncertainty, and fear. And like a knee-jerk response, we immediately begin to focus on the negative over the positive, on what's bad instead of what's good, on the reasons why you can't rather than why you can. And if you want to win the battle of self-sabotage and finally earn what you're worth, the only way is through it. That small voice telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, or unworthy for success is a liar. It's a no-good, rotten scoundrel that must be met and overcome by a strong, healthy mind and a powerful will. Your beliefs, your thoughts, and your reactions are the things that you're in complete control of, which is to say, you're always working from a position of strength, and that is why you must convince yourself of that very point. Point number 2 is avoidance behavior. There are some types of behaviors which tend to increase and to empower self-sabotage and underperformance. And perhaps the most common of these is procrastination. We all know this malevolent friend which tells us of the extensive list of better things we can choose to do in this moment instead of working on what's most important. Procrastination is a special type of avoidance. By making excuses or doing something else, you're avoiding the priority activity which would lead you towards your goal. Avoidance behaviors are at the root of most fears and anxieties. Overcoming the gravitational pull of avoidance behavior is not an easy thing to do, but it can be done, and it must be done if you have any intention of making your mark on the world. Now be mindful. Procrastination, like any avoidance behavior, is a choice. It's a choice that leads to underperformance. And to fully appreciate the value of that statement, you must understand the purpose of making a choice. See, every choice you make, regardless of size, must have a purpose, and that is this. It is to advance you north. It is to move you in the direction of your goals. Every choice counts. There are no insignificant choices. There are no neutral actions. Therefore, overrule the voices in your head by choosing to engage in proactive behavior. And by doing so, you will overcome the devastating impact of self-sabotage, and your performance, that will immediately improve. Point number 3 has to do with focusing issues. Self-sabotage is a devious little monster that loves to impede your focus. It thoroughly enjoys manipulating and distracting you with unnecessary and irrelevant low-level activity. You cannot afford to give self-sabotage the upper hand, nor can you afford to devalue your talents and reputation by having a focus deficit. Without a long, sustained focus, you place a death sentence on your goals, and you eventually you'll wind up on the endangered species list. That is exactly how this bastard works. Self-sabotage or resistance in any way hates focus for the simple reason that it knows it's losing the fight. Focus is the ultimate power move, as the primary objective of having a focus is to dominate your market, to intimidate weaker competitors, to scare the crap out of fear, and to fast-track your goals. Focus is the big stick that allows you to give your life and your goals the time, the care, and the attention that they deserve. And that brings us to the 4th and final point, which is decreased energy and motivation. Decreased energy and motivation is the result of negative self-talk, of avoidance behavior, and focusing issues. They grind on you and they work to wear you down. So here's a good rule to remember, especially when beginning any new goal. While self-sabotage is always lurking nearby, the danger is at the beginning and near the finish line. See, at the beginning, the tactics of self-sabotage are little more than a whispering of a few words of doubt. A simple boo is all it takes to get most people to give up on their goals, to throw in the towel, and to surrender to self-doubt. It's sad, but it's also true. Self-sabotage also presents itself near the finish line, when the last 10% is in sight. That's when self-sabotage goes into full assault mode because it knows that it has you on the ropes. See, when self-sabotage knows you're about to beat it, it hits the panic button. It marshals a few psychological assaults. It lobs a few grenades. It gives you an unexpected and costly obstacle or setback. It launches one final assault and slams you with everything it's got. You must be alert for this counterattack. You must be wary at the end. You must strengthen your resolve, and you must enforce your will over this mother of a resistance force and grab that brass ring with both hands. You must remember that self-sabotage is real, that it plays for keeps, and that you cannot underestimate the strength and the intent of this powerful resistance force. Therefore, if you're ever going to find your greatness, if you're ever going to make your mark on the world, you must decide that what you want is bigger and far more important than the resistance force which prevents you from achieving it. See, self-sabotage is an engine of destruction, and it understands nothing but brute force. And to overcome the ugly, unsportsmanlike conduct of self-sabotage, you must deploy a strong, relentless offense. You must develop an indomitable spirit, an unbreakable will, a relentless resolve to rise above the dirty tricks and the diabolical mind games of self-sabotage. You must choose to put self-sabotage behind you, to stare it in the eye, to walk straight through it, and to advance towards your goals with confidence, with courage, and with certainty. Now, I'm going to close with some good news, and I mean it is very good news. If resistance and self-sabotage could not be beaten, I promise you this: there would be no Eiffel Tower, there would be no man on the moon, there would be no Mona Lisa, and certainly there would be no Great Wall of China. Everyone deals with self-sabotage throughout their lives, and if you choose to, you can beat it at its own game and begin to fast-track each one of your goals.